Give me some water to drink, Yejide. She froze. Her heart skipped a beat. She stared at Kola, completely speechless. You want to drink water from my house? Yes. She couldn't believe it. Young man, after everything you've heard about me, you're still willing to drink from my hands?
Kola stood alone on the lonely village path, watching Yejide until she disappeared into the distance. A smile slowly spread across his face. I'll see you again, Yejide. I'm sure of it. Without realizing it, he began walking home. His mind wasn't on the hunting trap anymore. It wasn't on the market or the journey home. It was completely filled with one person, Yejide. Back at Bayo's compound, smoke rose gently from the cooking fire. Bayo was already crouching beside the clay stove, stirring the pot. The delicious aroma of the fresh meat filled the compound. Just then, Kola walked in. Bayo looked up and smiled. There you are. Kola smiled back. I'm back. Bayo pointed toward the forest. So did our trap catch anything? Kola froze. His smile faded. His heart skipped. He had completely forgotten. He never went anywhere near the trap. He scratched the back of his head nervously. For a brief moment, he couldn't find the words. Bayo slowly narrowed his eyes. Kola, did you actually check the trap? Kola forced a laugh. Haha, of course I did. Bayo stood up. Really? Then why are you stammering? You don't know anyone in Oluwade except me. So where exactly did you go? Kola laughed again, this time louder. I checked the trap. It didn't catch anything. That's all. Bayo stared at him for a few seconds. All right, too. But something tells me you're hiding something. Kola quickly changed the subject. Forget the trap. I'm hungry. Bayo chuckled. I can see that. Come, help me finish cooking so we can finally eat. Kola smiled with relief. Now that's a better idea. The two cousins laughed and continued preparing dinner together. Far away, at the edge of the village, Yejide returned to her quiet little hut. She gently placed her woven basket on the floor. Then she stood silently, lost in thought. A faint smile slowly appeared on her beautiful face. Yejide, she whispered softly. She could still hear his voice. Yejide, wait. Her fingers gently touched the coral beads around her neck. It's been centuries, she murmured. Centuries since someone spoke to me so freely. She slowly began preparing her evening meal, still smiling to herself. So, he's not afraid of me. A small laugh escaped her lips. Maybe I'm not a monster after all. For the first time in a very long time, the lonely silence inside her home didn't feel quite as lonely. Back at Bayo's compound, the two young hunters sat together eating. Bayo noticed something strange. Every few seconds, Kola was smiling to himself. He wasn't even paying attention to the conversation. Bayo lowered the piece of meat in his hand. Kola? You are smiling. Kola looked up. I am? Yes. You've been smiling ever since you came back. What is making you so happy? Kola laughed. Oh, it's nothing. I'm just enjoying my stay in Oluwade. Bayo folded his arms. I hope that's the real reason. Kola smiled again. It is. But deep inside, he knew the truth. It wasn't Oluwade, it was Yejide. And no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't get the beautiful, mysterious immortal out of his mind.
Four days had passed since Kola arrived in Oluwade. He had only planned to spend 1 week with his aunt and cousin before returning to his own village, Aramoko. But something had changed. Every day after hunting with Bayo, his eyes searched the village paths, the forest trails, the stream. Anywhere, he hoped he might catch another glimpse of Yejide. Sometimes, he would quietly make an excuse, "I'll be back soon," then stroll through the village alone, not because he had anywhere to go, but because he hoped she would appear. Yet for 2 whole days, there was no sign of her. Bayo had begun to notice. One afternoon, as they returned from hunting, he looked at Kola curiously. "Kola, have you made a friend here in Oluwade?" Kola looked surprised. "A friend?" "Yes, I've noticed. You're always disappearing. Who do you keep visiting?" Kola laughed nervously. "Oh, no one. I just enjoy walking around. Oluwade is a beautiful village. The fresh air, the trees, the peaceful atmosphere. I like seeing everything." Bayo burst into laughter. "So you've fallen in love with Oluwade already?" Kola laughed. "Maybe." Bayo shook his head, smiling. "I've never seen anyone admire my village this much." The 2 cousins laughed together. Later that evening, Kola went for another walk. His feet carried him to the same lonely village path. He waited. Minutes passed. Nobody came. He sighed. "I guess she's not coming today." Just as he turned to leave, someone appeared in the distance, a graceful figure walking slowly toward him. His heart skipped. It was Yejide, as beautiful as ever. Her light chocolate skin glowed beneath the golden evening sun. Her exceptionally beautiful oval face remained calm and peaceful. Her short, neat traditional braids were decorated with the bronze gold beaded ornaments resting around her forehead. She wore her royal blue traditional attire with effortless elegance. In one hand, she held her woven basket, filled with freshly gathered medicinal herbs. Kola couldn't hide his smile. He hurried toward her. "Yejide!" She stopped, then looked at him. A faint smile appeared. "You again, young man." Kola laughed. "Yes, me again. But I've told you my name. You can call me Kola." Yejide nodded gently. "All right, Kola. Well done." She continued walking. Kola immediately walked beside her. "So, did you go into the forest? Those herbs, did you gather them yourself? You shouldn't be going alone. Next time, let me come with you. I'll protect you." Yejide said nothing. She simply continued walking, calmly, gracefully. After several moments, she suddenly stopped, then looked at him. "Kola, why are you following me?" Kola smiled. He didn't answer. Yejide looked into his eyes. "You should stop following me." She turned and continued walking. Kola smiled and followed again. "Why? I only want to be your friend. I mean no harm. I just want to know you better." Yejide stopped once more. She slowly turned around. "Know me? Better? Why?" Kola scratched the back of his head shyly. "Because I like you and I want us to be friends. And before you ask, no, I'm still not afraid of you." For the first time, Yejide didn't know what to say. Before she could respond, Kola gently reached for the woven basket in her hand. "Here, let me carry this for you. I'll walk you home." As his fingers touched the handle, they lightly brushed against hers. Time seemed to stand still. Yejide froze. Her eyes widened. She stared at her hand,
then slowly looked back at Kola. Her heartbeat quickened. He touched me. His hand touched mine. She remained completely still, unable to believe what had just happened. For centuries, people had avoided even coming close to her. Yet this young hater had reached out without the slightest fear. And somehow, that simple touch stirred something deep inside her heart.
Kola smiled warmly. Yejide, let's go. Which way is your home? Yejide remained standing where she was. Her mind was still replaying what had just happened. His hand had gently brushed against hers. She slowly lifted her eyes toward Kola. He stood there, holding her woven basket filled with freshly gathered herbs, as though it was the most natural thing in the world. Without saying a word, she turned and began walking. Kola happily walked beside her, still carrying the basket. So, you really went into the forest to gather these herbs? You must know every corner of the forest. One day, you'll have to teach me. Yejide remained silent. She simply continued walking with her usual calm, graceful elegance. Kola smiled. You really don't like talking much, do you? Still, no reply. He chuckled softly. I don't mind. I'll do the talking. The lonely village path remained quiet, with only the sound of birds singing and their footsteps echoing through the trees. After a few more minutes, they arrived. Kola stopped. His eyes widened. Standing before him was the most beautiful hut he had ever seen in Oluwade. It was larger than every other hut in the village. Its walls were beautifully decorated with traditional Yoruba patterns. The compound was spotless. Beautiful flowers surrounded the entrance. Rows of carefully planted medicinal herbs grew around the compound. Everything looked peaceful, comfortable, and elegant. Even though no one lived nearby because the villagers kept away from Yejide, her home reflected the quiet wealth she had built over the centuries. Kola looked around in amazement, then smiled to himself. Bayo wasn't exaggerating after all. You really are the richest person in Oluwade. Yejide heard him mumble softly. She turned toward him. What did you say? Kola smiled. Oh, nothing. She stretched out her hand. My basket. Kola looked down. Oh, I almost forgot. He carefully handed the woven basket back to her. Yejide received it quietly. Thank you for walking me home. You may go now. Kola blinked, then smiled mischievously. That's all? You won't even offer your visitors something? Not even water? You should know how to welcome a guest. Yejide stared at him in disbelief. You want me to give you water? Kola laughed. Of course, I'm thirsty. Yejide searched his face carefully. And you'll actually drink it? You are not afraid something might happen to you? Young man, I don't think you truly understand who I am. Kola looked calmly into her eyes. I understand. I've heard everything about you. Your story is legendary. Even little children in Oluwade know your story. Yejide asked quietly. And yet, you are still not afraid? Kola noticed a small wooden stool beside the hut. Without waiting for permission, he pulled it closer and sat down comfortably. Like I told you before, I'm not afraid of you. I believe everyone has a story. Even though your story is surrounded by mystery, it doesn't make you a monster. He paused, then continued gently. When everyone looks at you, they see fear. But when I look at you, I see a lonely young woman. A young woman who deserves to smile, to laugh, and to have friends like everyone else. I don't care about your wealth. I don't care about the stories people tell. I simply want to know the real Yejide. I want to be your friend." Silence filled the compound. Yejide couldn't speak. No one had ever spoken to her like this, not in centuries. Kola smiled again. "So, where's your clay pot? I really want that water now." Still dazed, Yejide slowly lifted her hand. She pointed toward a covered clay pot standing in one corner of the hut. Without hesitation, Kola stood up. "There it is." He walked over, picked up the small calabash cup resting on top of the covered clay pot. He removed the lid, scooped fresh water, then drank it. One calabash, then another. Ah, that was refreshing. He smiled with satisfaction. Behind him, Yejide stood frozen. Her breathing became uneven. Her eyes widened. "He actually drank my water, without fear, without hesitation." For a moment, she felt as though time itself had stopped. Not for centuries had anyone willingly entered her home, accepted water from her clay pot, or treated her like an ordinary young woman. Yet, this fearless young hunter sat comfortably in her compound, drank from her home, and smiled at her as though she was simply another beautiful young woman. Deep inside, a part of her heart that had been buried beneath centuries of loneliness quietly began to awaken.
After Kola finished drinking the water, he slowly walked back toward Yejide. She was still standing exactly where he had left her, completely speechless, still trying to understand everything that had just happened. Kola smiled warmly. "I should be going now." He paused for a moment, then looked into her eyes. "But before I return to my village in the next 2 days, I'll come back to see you again. All right?" Yejide remained silent. She simply looked at him, still unable to find her voice. Kola smiled again. "I'll see you soon, Yejide." With that, he turned and began walking away. Yejide remained standing in her compound, watching him. She watched until he disappeared beyond the lonely village path. Only then did she slowly lower her eyes. A faint smile appeared on her beautiful face. She gently touched the hand Kola had accidentally brushed earlier that day. Then she whispered softly to herself, "A human, talking to me, laughing with me, walking me home, and even drinking water from my home." She slowly shook her head. "I still can't believe it." The whole day, Yejide couldn't concentrate on anything. As she prepared herbs, her thoughts drifted back to Kola. As she swept her compound, she remembered his smile. As she tried to prepare her evening meal, she found herself smiling without realizing it. For the first time in centuries, someone had treated her like an ordinary young woman. Meanwhile, Kola remembered something while walking home. "Our hunting trap!" He laughed. "I completely forgot." He quickly made his way toward the forest. Soon, he arrived at the trap. His eyes lit up. Ha! It actually caught something! A wide grin spread across his face. He quickly picked up the animals, then laughed to himself. "Ah, so this is my excuse. If Bayo starts questioning me again, I'll simply tell him I went to check the trap." Still smiling, he began walking home. As he entered Bayo's compound, he saw Bayo and his mother sitting outside. They were happily eating roasted corn and roasted pear. The moment they saw him, Bayo laughed. "There he is," Kola laughed. "Were you talking about me?" Bayo nodded. Of course. I was just telling Iya, I still don't know where you keep disappearing to every day. Kola smiled mischievously. Well, I actually went to check our trap. He lifted the animals in his hand. And look what I brought back. Before Bayo could reply, his mother gently tapped him on the shoulder. Enyomoyi, stop accusing my nephew. Can't you see? He truly went to check the trap. He even brought home more meat. Bayo laughed. All right, I surrender. The three of them burst into laughter. Bayo's mother smiled proudly. Come and sit. Let's eat before the corn gets cold. Kola quickly sat beside them. The three of them enjoyed the roasted corn and pear together. They laughed, shared stories, teased one another, and filled the compound with joy. Before long, the sun slowly disappeared beyond the trees. Night quietly settled over Oluwade. But while everyone prepared to sleep, two young hearts in different parts of the village were still thinking about each other. The day Kola was to return to his village finally arrived. Very early that morning, he packed his few belongings, his bow, his hunting bag. Everything was ready. Bayo and his mother were still busy inside the compound. Kola looked toward them, then quietly smiled. I'll be back before they even notice. Without making a sound, he slipped out of the compound, then hurried along the lonely village path. His heart beat faster with every step. I just hope she's home. I can't leave without saying goodbye. Soon, he arrived at Yejide's compound. He looked around. The compound was quiet. No sign of her. Kola frowned. He stepped closer. Yejide, are you home? Silence. He called again. Yejide. Still, no answer. He sighed deeply. I came to say goodbye. I'm returning to Aramoko today. Slowly, he turned to leave. Disappointment filled his face. Just then, a gentle voice came from behind the hut. Yejide. His eyes lit up immediately. He turned around. There she was, Yejide, walking gracefully from behind the hut. Her exceptionally beautiful oval face was as calm as ever. A faint, gentle smile rested on her lips. Kola couldn't hide his happiness. I thought you went home. I was already disappointed. I really wanted to see you before leaving. He walked closer. Were you busy? Yejide nodded gently. I was sorting some herbs. Kola smiled. I came to say goodbye. I am returning to Aramoko today. The smile on Yejide's face slowly faded. Something tightened inside her chest. For reasons she couldn't explain, the thought of Kola leaving suddenly made her heart feel heavy. She remained quiet. Kola looked at her. Take good care of yourself, okay? I'll come back one day. And when I do, I'll be looking for you again. As he finished speaking, he gently held one of her hands. For a brief moment, neither of them moved. Then he slowly let go, turned around, and began walking away. Kola? He stopped immediately, then turned. Yejide looked at him. Wait. She hurried into her hut. A few moments later, she came back holding a beautifully wrapped, valuable gift. She stretched it to him. Take this. It's my little way of thanking you for walking me home. Kola smiled warmly, then slowly shook his head. No, I can't take it. Your kindness is enough for me. He smiled again. But promise me something. When I come back, be ready to tell me your story, the real story. Yejide looked into his eyes. For the first time in centuries, she wished time would stop. A faint, gentle smile appeared on her face. "Okay," Kola smiled, then turned and finally walked away. Yejide remained standing in her compound, watching him. She watched until he completely disappeared beyond the winding village path. Only then did she whisper softly, "Goodbye, Kola." Kola hurried back to Bayo's compound. The moment he entered, he found Bayo and his mother waiting outside. Bayo folded his arms. "There he is." His mother smiled. "Kola, where are you coming from?" Before Kola could answer, Bayo laughed. "I told you, Aya, this is exactly what he does. He disappears, then suddenly returns." Kola laughed. "Come on, Auntie. I only went to thank nature. The forest has been good to me. Oluwade has given me wonderful memories. I will keep coming back." Bayo laughed loudly. "I knew it. You've completely fallen in love with Oluwade." The three of them burst into laughter. Moments later, Bayo's mother pulled Kola into a warm embrace. "My son, journey safely. We'll miss you." Kola hugged her tightly. "I'll miss you too, Auntie." Tears gathered in her eyes, but she smiled. Then Bayo picked up Kola's bag. "Come, I'll walk you out." The two young hunters walked together, talking, laughing, remembering all the moments they had shared. Soon, they reached the point where their paths separated. Neither of them spoke for a moment. Then they embraced tightly. "I'm going to miss you." Bayo smiled. "I'll miss you too, but next time you come, don't think you'll beat my hunting record." Kola laughed. "We'll see about that." The two cousins smiled one last time, then slowly walked in opposite directions. As Kola continued his journey back to Aramoko, his smile slowly disappeared. His heart felt unusually heavy. Yes, he would miss Bayo. He would miss his aunt. But deep inside, he knew someone else occupied his thoughts, Yejide. Far away, inside her quiet hut, Yejide sat alone. The silence she had lived with for centuries had returned once again. But this time, it felt different. For the first time in centuries, someone had entered her lonely world only to leave it again. She gently looked at the hand Kola had held. A tear slowly rolled down her cheek. Softly, almost like a whisper, she said, "Come back, Kola." Little did they know, their goodbye was not the end of their story. It was only the beginning.